What is up, guys? How's it going? Bringing you guys some more good old battle. Playing some Conquest Large on Guilin Peaks. Doing it up and using the Famas. First time I ever used the Famas. I believe this is the only time I've ever used the Famas. And this is actually old gameplay. And using it with no attachments except for the sight, which I got a Chinese 3-4 scope, which I unlocked in a battle pack. Oh joy. And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy battle packs, is kind of giving me the excuse to use a gun that I may not have used before, because there are quite a few weapons in this game, and it does take a while to kind of get kills with each one of them and whatnot. So I kind of like getting the random attachments in the battle packs, because although I don't really get battle packs anymore because I hit 110 a while ago, but when I was getting battle packs, it was nice to get random attachments and stuff for weapons that I might not have used yet, especially the this weapon in particular, because in my opinion probably has the worst iron sights in the game. And part, there's other things that are wrong with this gun. It's pretty terrible, but they had to give this weapon some terrible aspects to it, because otherwise you get what happened in Battlefield 3, where it was just ridiculously overpowered. So they got, the super long reload, and they kind of nerfed the magazine, and then they gave it a shitload of recoil and everything, which I'm fine with the recoil and the long reload and everything. I kind of just wish they'd give those 5 rounds back in the magazine and give it back them 31 rounds, or the 30 round mags with the one in the chamber. You get the 31. That would be cool, but otherwise, I don't know. This gun's not that bad. I kind of liked it with this sight. It allowed me to, especially for close range, kind of see where my crosshair exactly was and be able to get a little bit more accuracy out of it and more consistently take out 2 people with 1 mag. But whenever you get past fucking 20 feet, this gun's pretty hard to use. But it is what it is. It can be fun to fuck around with weapons like this here and there. Even though they're not particularly good, it's kind of fun to play with, not the best of weapons sometimes, or setups, that is. But anyways, moving along, and actually been out of town for a while. Just got back into town like 2 days ago, and went out of town after I uploaded my montage. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed my montage, and thanks for the support on it. Glad you guys liked it and whatnot. And I actually got quite a bit more clips saved up, or left over, that is, from that montage, because I kind of ran out of space in it. Wanted to keep it around 10 minutes, and was like, I still got clips. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just finish, and I'll just make another montage. Fuck it. But anyways, thanks for enjoying it and whatnot, and all that fun stuff. But I was using the 45 in this game, and I switched to the Glock because I don't know. The 45 suck in this game, which it's disappointing, because the 45s were decent in Battlefield 3, like the 1911. It was decent. It worked, and in Bad Company too. It was really good, because it pretty much worked. If I remember correctly, it had very similar stats than it does now, but all the other guns killed and more bullets, so it made it even better. And in this game, it's just terrible. I think it needs a rate of fire adjustment. It just seems too slow, and I miss out on a lot of stupid kills with it, so I don't really use it too much anymore. And body armor completely throws the 45s out the window, and it makes them into, from a 3-hit kill at point blank to a 4-hit kill, and on top of a slow rate of fire and limited magazine size, it makes it so they're not really useful. I honestly think the 44 Magnum is more effective than the 45s in this game, because at least with the 44 Magnum, it's only a 2-shot and at close range, and you get those 1-shot headshots here and there. So that's always fun. Oh joy. But hell yeah. And while I was out of town, I actually managed to play this on Xbox One, and I'll kind of give you my first impressions of it. I played 1 or 2 games, and yeah, played some 64-player Conquest, and just my first initial impressions, I didn't like it, and it was a lot of reasons. It didn't look too bad. It doesn't look nearly as good as PC. I don't know where people are getting off saying that it's, you know, you could hardly tell. People were saying like, oh, you have to have a really good eye to spot the difference. Well, I must have an awesome eye because I noticed it right off the bat. Like, the textures on the guns and shit looks pretty close, but like just how the map looks is, I noticed the difference right off the bat. And just the way how certain things, you know, felt. The motion blur is what honestly kills it for me. There's like a lot of motion blur on console. On PC, we have the luxury of turning that shit off, which I did. That was the first setting I changed. It's all motion blur. Nope. Get rid of that shit. Don't want it. Don't want it. No, no. And so I changed it. And that's one of the beauties about having a PC and whatnot. But yeah, I played it, and you know, I wasn't really all too impressed with how it looked. I mean, it looks a shitload better than the Xbox 360 version, but it wasn't like I thought. You know, I was honestly just expecting it to be very, very close to how it would look on my PC, because I don't run with super crazy settings on PC. I go for more frame rate while still kind of looking decent. So I got my settings a mixture of low to high. A couple of them are on ultra. Like I got the draw distance on ultra, and I got the textures on high. Because once you knock them down to medium, the guns kind of lose their shininess to them, and I kind of like the shininess to them. So I left that on high. But like I said, I got my settings on a mix, and so I was somewhat expecting it to look similar to my PC, and it did not. You know, that's just from what I gathered from it. You know, playing on different TVs could have a factor in that as well. I'm not quite sure, but I wasn't too impressed with how it looked. I mean, it ran good, but for me, the motion blur kills it. It's just way too much motion blur for my liking, that is. I mean, I'm sure over time you could get used to it. But another thing that I didn't like about it right off the bat was the controls and the controller. They changed the controls around from how it was on Battlefield 3 on Xbox 360, and they made it so spots like the bumper, and I liked it being select because I could spot while I'm shooting, and it makes it kind of awkward that your spot button is next to you know, where your trigger is, and it's kind of weird to press both at the same time, and unless you use your middle finger for the trigger and your index for the bumper. But I like using my index finger or my pointer finger for the trigger, and you know, going back and forth between the bumpers, and I kind of didn't like it. And I don't know, a few other things, like I think the get in and out of vehicles, they switched that to X. It used to be B, and I just wasn't feeling it. And then the Xbox controller itself, I didn't like it at all. I don't like the joysticks on it. They're too loose. I like them a little bit more tense, like they were on Xbox 360. But I played around with it for a little bit, and I just wasn't feeling it. The one plus side, though, is that I think a lot of it probably does have to do with the controls. Is people are fucking terrible on Xbox One. Like on Xbox 360. You know, they could handle their own. They weren't that bad. You know, I played on 360 for forever, and you know, people held their own and did their shit. But on Xbox One, I was terrible, and I was having like the most ridiculous fail aim ever, just from not being used to it and not playing console in a while. But I was getting in these situations that I've never even gotten to on PC, where, you know, like literally both of us would dump our magazine at each other and then pull up pistol, dump all our bullets, and then we'd just stand there and then like wait to reload and finish each other off. One of us would finish each other off, and it was just silliness. But I don't know. I'm not planning on getting a next gen console anytime soon. I know some of you guys be asking that, and from my first initial impressions playing on the Xbox One, I just was not feeling it. But I don't know. I'll play it again when I go back down there, because a couple of my friends have it, but we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. And yeah, peace. Have a good one.